And just like that, we're headed to Championship Sunday. So here's everything you need to know about the WACO Annual Charity Open before you watch the final round. I'm Jefferson, alongside me the one with all the holes in his game, Swiss Cheese, and we're with the Disc Golf World, keeping you updated with all things disc golf. Before we can recap round 3, the day actually started early in the morning for some of the MPO competitors to finish out round 2. The lead card still had 3 holes to play, which made up some of the harder holes on the course. As much complaining about the weather there was on Friday, these players had to deal with a cold and windy morning round, and most players suffered due to the conditions. The scoreboard for round 3 was Kyle Klein in first at 19 down, followed by Luke Humphries, who would be a stroke back with an 18 down. Nicholas Antela, who would catch a birdie on 17 in the morning, putting him 17 under and in third place. Rounding off the lead, there was everyone's favorite strawberry shirt wearer, Joel Freeman, 3 back of the lead at 16 down. He would also be tied with Gannon Burr and Nate Sexton. The conditions didn't lighten up for the FPO, and it stayed cold. Actually made me thankful I had to spend the time in the minivan editing rather than freezing in Texas. Good thing Swiss was there. So here's the FPO recap.
The weather this morning was brutal. Overcast, cold, and windy, as the FPO bundled up for the final day at Bravos Beast. I would love to wax poetic over how tightly a contested race featured with big birdies, huge putts, but the scoring was as brutal as the weather. And like the past 2 seasons, who was there to clean up on poor play but Kristin Tattar? Tattar was the only storyline on the day worth mentioning, improving on her day 1 score by shooting 7 under on the round with 9 total birdies, matching the combined total of the rest of her card mates. She did get a double bogey on 16, but apart from that hole, remained clean. Was nearly a full stroke ahead in strokes gained tee to green next to Evelina Salonen. Tattar entered the day 6 strokes behind Ella Hansen, and after putting out on 18, was only 5 strokes ahead of her and the remaining field. Ella had a tough day, scoring only a single birdie on her +4 round. Yet much of the field didn't improve, so she remained in second place. Haley King and Evelina, with unders on the day, both moved up onto lead card heading over to WACO. And yeah, Paige Pierce got a 5 under, but it was too little too late. It's hard not to go with Tattar, but Ella can put together a round on WACO, going 8 under just this Friday. But she will need something special to overtake Tattar's 5-stroke lead. The good news for Ella, our conditions should be better than Friday's. She has to be looking for a 10 under on the final day.
As the day went on, the weather started to lighten up. There were still gusts of wind that would mess with discs, but at least layers were coming off. Felt weird seeing people in WACO wearing winter jackets in 60 degrees. Gannon Burr was 3 strokes back, but after birding every hole in the front 9 except hole 4, he put himself in an attacking position. He would start to slow up on the back half, getting his first bogey on hole 12, but he would follow it up with 2 quick birdies on holes 13 and 14. Burr would get 1 more birdie on hole 17, wrapping his round up with an 11 down and tied for first. He only missed 1 putt inside the circle, and combined that with 5 more putts from circle 2. If this Gannon can translate over at WACO, he could just get his first win on tour this season. I just hope there's less wind. I'm not trying to wait for all that chalk to settle. Luke Humphries actually had a better start than Gannon. Well, if we're only counting up to hole 5. After that, Luke played relatively quiet, getting himself easy pars and picked up the birdies as they came. He dropped 2 putts inside the circle and only made 1 outside the circle putt. The rest of his 6 birdies were all bullseyes. Humphries has still thrown his best round over at WACO, so we'll see how he fares against the final day lead card. And the same goes for Mason Ford. I know he has a win on tour, but that was when we were still calling them NTs. And after a 3-year win drought, I'll still be watching how he shapes up. As for round 3, he played clean disc golf with a bogey-free 11 down that pushed him up 3 spots, tied for third, 1 back of the lead. If Mason can get his putter hotter, he can keep giving himself plenty of birdie opportunities and can make a push. It'll really come down to how the large crowds and big names chasing them down change their game. I hope not at all, but they don't have as much experience when it comes down to these situations, and this is where it matters the most.
Anyone who is trying to count out the KG veterans on this touchy, wooded course that's the shortest on tour and changed a mere handful of times in its long career, you're not watching enough of the disc golf world, and you guys should subscribe already. Today proved that the quote old-timers on their swan song of throwing careers still can put together rounds that the youth of the game can't wrap their heads around. The Joe Mez commentators all put together double-digit unders as Big Germ and Paul Ulibarri edged out Nate Sexton, both with 11 under rounds. Germ even had a near 300-foot throw-in on 2 for birdie. Nate holds the last laugh, however, as his 10 under was enough for him to make lead card heading into the final day. The People's Champ Greg Barsby matched Sexton with a 10 under himself and a stroke behind in 5th place. The 4 would all remain bogey-free and in scoring opportunities with ease for the entire round. All were up there in fairway hits and solid from the putting circle. That was when they were outside the bullseye, which in all honesty was not that frequent. Deep down, I'm rooting for them. Absolutely. A Barbarian WACO championship would be sick and fits better than a Canadian tuxedo. But with fairly optimal conditions set for tomorrow on the Bomber Golf Course, I'm not sure if they have enough arms to hang with the youth that surrounds them.
Beth at 69.
I just told myself, you just got to will this one in there. Whatever you have, just will it in there.
This man is unbelievable. This is what athletes live for. This is the moment.
After playing in the morning, Onslow would come back for another lead card appearance. He played clean up until hole 12, where he would take a bogey and would get another one on 18 after an OB approach. Pairing that with 10 birdies, he finished with an 8 down, which slipped him down the leaderboard 2 spots, and now down by 2 strokes with 1 more round to go. Onslow needs to start connecting on more circle 2 putts after going 0 for 6 yesterday, and only 1 made from both the other rounds combined. Kyle Klein would also drop as he went into day 3 with the lead and ended in 5th, 2 back of the lead, starting off his round with a bogey after an OB drive. Recovered quickly, following it up with back-to-back birdies. He managed 6 more birdies until an unfortunate bogey on 16 after a missed circle 1 putt. A total of 2 missed C1X putts and 4 opportunities from circle 2. Our boy Casey White would have a great round up until the final hole. After that pull job to the right and eventual bogey, made it just good. A 9 down that kept him inside the top 10 and only 4 strokes back of the leader, with 18 holes of craziness for anything to happen. Casey has been able to knock down C1X putts as they come his way, which has given him the ability to score well at both courses. I had the chance to spectate a lot of the round and watch Casey light up Brazos. Oh yeah, and that upside down tilt shot in hole 3. Yeah, guess that's a thing. However, this also gave me the chance to watch the homie Calvin Longquist. Not sure if you guys wrote down his name when I told you to on Friday, but the kid is going to be something special. I'll throw out Rookie of the Year early because he's impressed me since the day I met him at Cactus Rock, which was like 6 days ago. He started out birdieing the first 5 holes, making it look easy with a long putt on 1 after leaving his drive short. A smash in hole 2 that gave him a little pitch forehand for the bird, a park job on 3, and just when you think all he does is bomb, pulls out a flip up mid that places him in the perfect spot to attack hole 4. And then does this in hole 5. Unfortunately, he wouldn't be able to keep up the hot pace, but banging 10 out of 11 C1X putts and 1 for 2 from outside the circle. Plus, he has distance that makes people turn their head. Literally, I saw it. Cal was a few mistakes from something great, but still ended with an average 6 down, dropping him 6 spots and now tied for 15th place. But I've already had multiple pros come up to me to talk about how good Cal is, including Hamas, who couldn't help but be amazed by some of his shots.
After a round filled with misfortune, with terrible OB kicks on top of OB rollaways, Cole Redolin's 1 under on day 2 dropped him 29 spots by the end of the day. Cole came to the round needing to score quickly and to play angry, which he did. After missing 1, Cole would go on to birdie on the next 4 holes on his way to tie the hot round on the beast for the tournament with a 12 under. Cole's putt was on fire. He was 100% in C1X, had 2 putts from distance in C2, both for birdies, and went bogey-free also. The performance moved Cole up 28 spots and back into the top 10. He's 5 strokes off the lead, but with better conditions and fortune, he could easily hit double-digit unders in the championship round. Dickerson came out of hiding or at least dropped the camo for today's outfit in best round, popping off with an 11 under himself, just behind Cole. The round had him climb 33 positions on the leaderboard and into the top 15. He started the round going 7 under on his first 7 holes, did not miss a fairway all day, but did miss 2 C1 putts that cost him even more birdies. That and with the bogey on 17 after going OB on his upshot were the only negatives on the round.
And here are some other round 3 quick hitters. Scott Stokely smacks an ace on hole 14 that almost brought him to tears. Or at least that's what it looked like. Or maybe that was just a blur. Nathan Queen dropped in a 13-foot putt on hole 7 for eagle, and same goes for Evan Smith and Gavin Babcock. Paul Cran shares on Instagram that he's had a rough week as he had car trouble, which in disc golf terms also means house issues. We at the Disc Golf World hope he can figure out a situation for the rest of the tour. Alva has some fun with Holland. Needed some of that after the tough rounds. That's alright though, at least they can say they're the second best time on the escape room leaderboard. Chandler Fry shares that he dropped out of the event after tweaking his lower back from slipping on hole 2's tee pad over at WACO. Zach Melton also had to drop out due to some flare-up. At least he can still get some nerve fights in with Heimberg as they heal up before the Open at Austin next week. Parker Welk shares his tragic hole 18 story that I would tell, but I couldn't do it better than him.
All right, picture this. You're comfortably in the cut. You've been playing pretty well all day. Hole 18, big tailwind. You know what? Sky hyzer. Boom. Launch it. What? Park job just outside the circle maybe? Oh, OB. You're on land, but hey, there's a line there. You know what? You're going to have to pretty much rethrow. Boom. Literally the same spot. Oh, okay. We already missed the cut. Launch the putt up there, air ball. Launch it back, air ball, into the water again. Boom. Make that putt. Let's get out of there with an 8. Woo!
Haley King might not be taking the dub at WACO, but that's not stopping her victory royales. Riki Wysocki runs into more trouble before his round.
So I'm warming up for my round, and I just got my favorite purple enforcer stuck up in a bird's nest on the top of the tree. That's a bummer.
Don't worry, he was still able to make it to the tee on time. Not sure what happened to Robert Burridge, but with that score, we won't see him for the final round. And that is everything you need to know before watching the final round of WACO. If you enjoyed, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. It's the easiest way to support the channel while we're on the road. See you tomorrow for the full breakdown of the event with the weekend wrap-up. Oh, and if you want to know what pissed off some pro disc golfers, check out the video right here.